Morning, all you happy hikers. It's Saturday, April 7th. Just taking off from the bunkhouse. It looks like it's going to be a miserable day. It's supposed to rain all day. We've got a mini reprieve here, but it is sprinkling. And then tonight it's supposed to go down into the mid-20s. So wet and then freezing. That's a nice combination. I'm just gonna head over and check out and hopefully get a ride to the trailhead, see where the day takes us. But the ideal is about 17. Maybe a slow 17, but we'll see. The first 5 miles are tough, but then it looks like it's relatively flat, or at least minor ups and downs, and then big butt at the end of the day. Yes, that's a real name. I don't think this is gonna be a great day, but it is a day on the Appalachian Trail. Welcome to my Hikification. So today we're starting at the Hemlock Hollow Inn at mile 291 with the goal to get to Flint Mountain Shelter at about 308.1 for a 17-mile day. There's a big uphill coming right off the start that should make for an interesting morning, and then after that first big climb there is some interesting terrain. We get some views off White Rock Cliff, Blackstaff Cliffs, and ultimately we get to Big Fire Scald Knob, but that's going to be a very rocky area with a bad weather bypass going around it, which tends to give you an indication of how strenuous that can be. So might be interesting. Licklock Gap will put us at 300 miles for the day, or for the Appalachian Trail, which is fantastic. And then we continue on. The first shelter we'll hit is Jerry's Cabin Shelter at mile 301, just in case we don't want to go a big day. Big Butt, though, is the next big climb at 303 miles, and then a gradual downhill to the shelter at the end of the day, past the Shelton Graves at Flint Mountain Shelter. So it's about 11 o'clock, and we've just hit White Rock Cliff. I think it's just a short jaunt down that, but even at 50 feet, as you can see, we're not getting any views today. So getting to the cliff and see more clouds, probably not worth the effort. The rain has stopped for a little while at least, which is great, but the terrain has got pretty rocky. There's actually a section coming up where they've got a bypass around because it is strenuous. I do think we'll go through, though the weather isn't too bad, assuming it doesn't start pouring. I am definitely not making any records as term pace. The hip is still bothering me. It loosened up a little as we started walking, and I've shortened my stride, and that seemed to help quite a bit. Not bad on the uphills, but on the downhills it starts to pain. We've got lunch in about an hour. Be a short stop. I don't want it to stiffen up too much, so I may just kind of do a quick grab some food and then keep on moving. About 10 more miles to go today. So yeah, the trail turned a little rocky. And I think we're coming up to a exposed ridgeline. I could see how this could suck in bad weather. Bit murky. Nice little rock cliffs. Figured up and over. This is kind of continuing. That's been the last 10 minutes. Had a little slip, didn't fall, but jammed my toe right into a rock. Now it's off the hip. I'm limping on my toe. Oh, I'm sure that'll fix itself in a little bit, but oh, that hurt. Okay, this was for what the bad weather bypass was for. This rocky, exposed ridgeline. See, not too much to see, but there's nothing higher. Whew. Without breaking my ass. Ugh. Definitely pretty exposed up here. A little bit more. We'll put your way in just a couple minutes. It is an interesting trail, walking through the ridgeline to the top of the mountain, surrounded by these rhododendrons. Another one of those experiences that I'm sure would be spectacular on a nicer day. That's the next milestone. 300. Gotta love that. Little second reminder, 300, and for those visually impaired, the 3 above, can we get the 3? 300. Kind of eerie. We're hitting a bald at the top of a, I'm not sure which mountain this is. I think we're nearing a Big Butt. Yeah, that's the real name. The tree just standing out. I call it fog, but we're in the clouds. Got about another 7 to go to the shelter. It's starting to get really cold. And so I just passed the last shelter, but it would be too cold to stop. Let's try and stay warm for the next 16 hours. That last section though, whew, that was rocky. I was going about 1 mile an hour as we were scrambling over those boulders. Okay, before we start on the next climb, figured to take a few minutes and just pontificate. Not really. First off, the hostel last night, what's the name of it? Hensey Hollow Hostel. I should know this because it's got a good alliteration on it. Was actually pretty good. The proprietor was really nice. It got pretty crowded there last night. I think the weather brought a lot of people in. Really clean. She was pretty organized. Enough stuff to restock a few things. You had the pizza oven that you make a dinner. And the bunker rooms were plenty comfortable. So, I'd recommend it. So far, every hostel I've been to has been pretty different. Okay, so today's saga has been all about, I guess, electronics more than anything else. First and foremost, I mentioned my Verizon Unlimited plan was about to expire. And so I went in to extend the payment, registered for their My Verizon site. Lo and behold, to make a payment, you need a zip code, a billing zip code associated to your credit card. There is no way to get an out-of-country card put through on their site. And trying to phone somebody, near impossible. Their automatic IVR gives you no option to bump out or wait for an agent. I actually got to the point where it said, "It appears you're having problems," and then it cut me off. Yeah, I'm having problems. I wanted to talk to someone. So at the end of the day, I had to do a call home for help. My sister-in-law, mother, and father-in-law live part-time in the States. And so as such, I hoped they might actually have access to American credit card. And sure enough, they did. So I passed my particulars over and they took care of everything for me. And will look after it through the duration of my hike. It is truly wonderful to have family that's able to kind of step up and support you when you're kind of at wit's end on your own. I think I owe them I think the agreement was a big lobster dinner to celebrate Maine at the end of it. But thank you. So the second component is YouTube videos. And so yes, if you're watching this video, it's all rectified by now, but yesterday my video was loaded in the 360 format. Virtual, I guess, reality, I have no idea. And apparently the following 7 that I spent those 4 hours uploading in that library are all the same. So, turns out I updated my LumaFusion app, and without realizing that the default settings when I go to process the movie or the clip, way down as you kind of sort through the options, includes 360 metadata. And if you include that, then YouTube picks that up and, well, you saw what we got. So, at least I figured out what the error is. So I've reprocessed all the movies, all the clips, all the daily videos. Now, I have to find some way to start gradually uploading them again. The next town we hit is Irwin. That's probably about 3 days out where I'll get Wi-Fi. And even then, who knows if it's going to be good Wi-Fi, depending on where I stay. So I may be able to get 1 or 2 up just through data, depending on how many bars I get when I get to camp at night. I'm not overly optimistic though, as it's not been stellar thus far. but the videos will get up eventually. And it's actually had me thinking a bit this morning that I'm stressing a bit over YouTube. And I've been enjoying making the movies. I've been even enjoying editing. But the uploading, etc., has caused me a little bit of angst. And it's nothing to do with you guys, the audience. It's all completely self-actualized. I feel this compulsion to be able to give a steady stream, to get them up regularly. And I absolutely logically know I miss a day, nobody's gonna care. But I stress over that. And so I spent a while thinking this morning, wasn't much else to do, that I may just need to reframe how I'm visualizing the YouTube experience. Which is not to say I'm planning at this point to change the quantity or the frequency of production, but just I need to take it a little more lax when it comes to when they get up. If I get behind, I get behind. Now I'm going to have to introspectively reevaluate my priorities. And I thank you guys for your patience. But over the next week, videos may be a little bit more sporadic. Eventually it'll catch you up. I just need to recalibrate the expectations. Anyway, there's my diatribe. I'm gonna keep walking. Probably won't catch any more views until we get to camp, but we'll bring you out for the close. Every now and again you come across these headstones across the AT, at least thus far. This one's a little poignant. Hiked the AT in 1968. Nice. Couldn't imagine what it'd be like then. So that's the top of a Big Butt Mountain. I'm sure people climb that last little bit and get some miraculous views, but with the weather I'm going to save myself that extra 50 feet because there's nothing to be seen except some shaky camera. A little bit of a rock scramble to get up here, but I think it's pretty much all downhill from here on out. Okay, so let's do the wrap up for Saturday, April 7th. It's about 5:30 and surprisingly, I am the only person in this shelter. I got here about 20 minutes ago just before the rain started and then it really started coming down. It's kind of varying up a little bit, but I decided I would forego setting up the hammock in the rain, especially since it's going to be really cold tonight. So instead, I don't know if you can see in the dark, I've got still got my thermarest, sleeping bag, liner, and the benefit for the really cold is I can now use my underquilt as an extra top quilt. And hopefully that'll get me through the night, in addition to almost every layer I have. Because it is supposed to get down to about 20 degrees. 23 degrees maybe. I'm actually really surprised there's no one else here, because the other shelter I passed about 5 miles, 6 miles back, there was just a couple guys in it, but maybe the rest of the people will stop short there. Who knows, we may see a straggler or two, but at this point I probably doubt it. There was actually nobody on the trail today either, which was surprising, especially given that big bubble coming out of Hot Springs. So I don't know where everybody disappeared to. Maybe Maybe they zeroed at the hostels to avoid the cold. I guess we'll see down the road. The shelter's nice. It's a little bit bigger. It's pretty clean. Let's see what the rodents are like tonight. If it is just me, it'll be interesting. I've yet to do a completely solo night, so I'm going to have a little bit of dinner and probably get in the sleeping bag pretty early. Overall, today, well, to be honest, today kind of sucked. I was dealing with those phone issues, but that aside, I was really babying my hip today, and it's quite sore, so I'll have to take a couple of ibuprofen tonight, and probably tomorrow do another slow day. I did make 17 miles though, so that was good, and I think as long as I kind of take smaller steps, it seems to be okay. The rest of the body, surprisingly, is feeling pretty good. It's just the hips that's bugging me. So I guess everything benefits from smaller paces, perhaps. The trail today, I would say the first 10 miles, it was tough. Really rocky. There were some big rock scrambles to get over. Just really was not a fun day. The weather was coming in and out, and so, I mean, it wasn't pouring all day, which was kind of what I thought it was going to do, but still, it was just kind of, ugh. I don't know how to describe it. Really no views the entire day. The last 5-6 miles, getting into the shelter, was actually not bad trail-wise, mostly downhill, a little bit of an up at the very end. Pretty smooth all told, but with the cloud cover kind of all around you and the rain starting to come, I was just a little bit of zoned out as I walked, so it's not an enjoyable hike. Anyway, every day can't be great. You take the good with the bad. We'll see what tomorrow brings. End it there for the night. Till next time, hike on.